Hi, I'm Patricia, a 28-year-old marketing exec, and I've got a story that might hit close to home for some of you. It all started on a sunny Saturday at the annual William Advertising Company picnic. You'd think it'd be a time to unwind, right? Wrong. There I was, watching my dad, David William, the big shot CEO, fawning over John, the company's shiny new hire. John, my boy, that presentation you gave last week was outstanding. You've got a real future here, Dad boomed, clapping John on the back. I rolled my eyes so hard I nearly saw my brain. John had been here for 5 minutes? Meanwhile, I just secured the Pearson account, a major win, but apparently that wasn't worth a mention. Thanks, Mr. William, John said, soaking up the praise like a sponge. I clenched my teeth, vowing to prove my worth. Little did I know, this moment was just the beginning of something much bigger, something that would change everything. For now, though, I had a picnic to survive and a father to impress. Wish me luck. Something told me I'd need it. After that disaster of a picnic, I threw myself into work like never before. I landed a massive project, rebranding for a major tech company. If this didn't impress Dad, nothing would. I was knee-deep in spreadsheets when my assistant Tom knocked on my office door. Hey, Patricia, got those reports you asked for? John's team just sent them over. Thanks, Tom. I'll take a look. As I flipped through the reports, something felt off. The projections looked too good to be true. Pulling up old data for comparison, I froze. No, this couldn't be right. I dug deeper, cross-referencing everything. It wasn't just one report, it was a trail of falsified data and plagiarized ideas. John had been conning everyone. Fuming, I marched toward my dad's office only to pause when I heard voices. The door was slightly ajar, and curiosity got the better of me. David, we need to talk about John, Linda, Dad's longtime colleague and John's mother, said, her tone tense. What about him? He's doing great work, Dad replied. That's not what I mean. He's asking questions about his father. A long pause followed, and my stomach dropped. No way, Dad muttered. David, we agreed never to tell him, Linda said. I know, but he's not stupid. He's noticing how you treat him compared to Patricia. People are talking. My head spun. John, my half-brother. It explained so much, but God, it hurt. We can't let this get out, Dad said. Think of the scandal. Think of Elena. That was it. I stumbled back to my office, struggling to process everything. My whole life felt like a lie. I needed answers. Grabbing my phone, I called my mom. Hey, sweetie. Everything okay? Mom, I need to see you. Can you come over? An hour later, we sat in my living room. Mom's face was etched with worry. Patricia, what's wrong? You're scaring me. I took a deep breath. Mom, I know about Dad and Linda. I know about John. Her face paled. Oh, Patricia. Is it true? Is John my half-brother? Tears welled in her eyes as she nodded. I'm so sorry, honey. We never wanted you to find out like this. How long have you known? Since John was born. Your father, he made a mistake, but we decided to work through it, for your sake. Anger and hurt boiled over. For my sake. Do you even know how Dad's treated me all these years? Always comparing me to John, like I'm never good enough. I've tried to talk to him, Patricia, but what, Mom? You just let it happen. Let him favor his secret son over me. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Please, Patricia, you can't tell anyone about this. It would ruin our family. The company. Ruin our family? Newsflash, Mom. It's already ruined. It has been for years. I stood up, pacing. And what about John's fraud? Yeah, I found out about that too. He's been falsifying reports and stealing ideas. Are we supposed to keep that quiet too? Mom looked shocked. Are you sure? Dead sure. I've got proof. She buried her face in her hands. Oh God. David can't know you know. They'll think you're just trying to discredit John out of jealousy. Jealousy? He's a fraud, Mom. He's hurting the company. Please, Patricia, give me some time. Let me talk to your father. We can figure this out without exposing everything. Fine, I said through gritted teeth. You've got 1 week, Mom. After that, I'm going to the board with what I know about John's work. The family stuff. I'll keep quiet about that for now. Mom exhaled in relief, but I wasn't done. I want you to know something. I'm done trying to impress Dad. I'm done comparing myself to John. From now on, I'm doing this for me. The week Mom asked for flew by, and I was no closer to figuring out my next move. Sitting on the information felt wrong, but exposing John meant risking everything. My career, my family's reputation, and the company's future. I needed backup. I called Susan and Mike, colleagues I trusted implicitly, and arranged to meet them at a cafe far from the office. "Okay, Patricia, what's with the cloak and dagger routine?" Susan asked as we settled into a corner booth. "Yeah, you're starting to freak us out," Mike added. I took a deep breath. "I've uncovered serious fraud at the company. John's been falsifying reports and stealing ideas." Their jaws dropped. Mike leaned in, his voice low. "Are you sure?" "That's a heavy accusation." "I'm sure. I've got proof, plenty of it. But there's more. Personal stuff I can't get into. Let's just say exposing John could blow up in all our faces." Susan narrowed her eyes. "What aren't you telling us, Patricia?" "Trust me, it's better if you don't know. But I need your help to build an airtight case, one that focuses solely on his professional misconduct." Mike nodded slowly. "I'm in. What do you need?" For the next week, we worked tirelessly, gathering evidence and triple-checking every detail. The tension at work was unbearable. Dad was on the warpath, suspicious and snappish. "Patricia, why aren't the Johnson reports on my desk?" he barked one morning. "I'm still reviewing them, Dad. There are some discrepancies." "Discrepancies? John's team handled those." "Are you saying he made a mistake?" I bit my tongue. "I'm just being thorough." He scoffed. "Be thorough faster. We can't all coast on our laurels." John wasn't faring much better. His confidence had evaporated, replaced by furtive glances and venomous glares in my direction. Late one night, I was grabbing coffee in the break room when Linda cornered me. "I hope you know what you're doing, Patricia. Some secrets are better left buried." I turned to face her. "I'm just doing my job, Linda. Maybe you should have taught John to do the same." Her eyes flashed. "You have no idea what you're messing with. Back off while you still can." "Is that a threat?" She smiled, cold and calculated, before walking away. Later that night, I received an anonymous email. My hands trembled as I opened the attachment. Financial records exposing years of Dad's shady business dealings. This wasn't just about John anymore. The entire company was built on lies. I stared at my screen, feeling sick. This was bigger than I ever imagined. There was no going back now. The truth was coming out, one way or another. The investigation felt like it dragged on for an eternity, though it was only a few weeks. The tension in the office was suffocating. Dad avoided me entirely. John was a nervous wreck. And Linda? If looks could kill, I'd have been 6 feet under. Finally, the board called for a company-wide meeting. My palms were clammy as we filed into the conference room. The head of the board began, his voice steady but grave. "After a thorough investigation, we've uncovered significant misconduct. Effective immediately, John William is terminated." A collective gasp rippled through the room. John shot to his feet, face red with fury. "This is bull." "Sit down, Mr. William," the board member snapped. "We're not finished." The room fell silent. In light of the extent of the fraud and the apparent lack of oversight, we are also calling for a vote of no confidence in David Williams' leadership. Dad's face went pale as the words sank in. He turned to me, his eyes a mix of anger and betrayal. I couldn't meet his gaze. "Furthermore," the board member continued, "we'd like to appoint Patricia William as interim CEO. Her integrity in bringing this matter to our attention, along with her proven track record, makes her the ideal candidate to lead us through this transition." My head spun. CEO? Me? This wasn't what I wanted, was it? The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Dad cleared out his office, John disappeared without a word, and suddenly I was left to pick up the pieces of a shattered company. One evening, as I was working late, again, there was a knock at my office door. I looked up to see Dad standing there, looking smaller than I'd ever seen him. "Patricia, can we talk?" I nodded, bracing myself. I owe you an apology," he began, his voice thick with emotion. "I've made so many mistakes. The affair with Linda, the way I treated you, I was wrong about everything. I wanted to feel something, anger, satisfaction, anything, but all I felt was emptiness. It's too late, Dad. Way too late." I know, he sighed, his shoulders slumping. I just hope someday you can forgive me. As he turned to leave, I called out, Dad. He paused, looking back. I don't hate you. I don't need your approval anymore. The months that followed were grueling but rewarding. We managed to save the company, rebuilding it on a foundation of honesty and hard work. Mom and I grew closer, both of us healing from years of deception. Dad faced multiple lawsuits and lost most of his assets in the divorce. Last I heard, John was struggling to find work, his reputation in tatters. Tonight, I'm meeting Susan and Mike for drinks. As we chat and laugh, I can't help but reflect on the wild journey that brought me here. It wasn't easy, and God knows it wasn't pretty. But for the first time in my life, I feel free from the need to prove myself, free from the shadow of my father's expectations. I raise my glass to honesty, hard work, and writing our own stories. Would you have exposed John's fraud, knowing it could destroy your family? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.